Another year over. New one just begun.
We're back.
We're back. It's a little late, but better late than never, right?
Life happens.
Life happens. So, guys, 2024
is over.
It's over. We're not that we've. It's been over for like a week at this point. Good riddance. Some really solid.
There are some good things.
Yeah, some solid. Some solid. Releases. A really good year for music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we dive into?
Should we just go straight into the awards? Do we want to just go straight into it? Do we want to
get it?
Talk about 2024 in general?
Well, actually, we should also mention the game. Jasper, how does this work?
Oh yeah, Jasper, introduce the game.
I have a list of topics. Random bullshit that we tend to gravitate toward or say or do. Mannerisms, roasting each other, all sorts of things. And throughout this episode, I'm going to keep track of whenever one of these things happens. And at the end, we're going to reveal how many we got on this list. It's a list of 18 right now.
Ooh.
If I think of more, I'm going to add them on. The more we get, the more fucking basic we are. The less we get, the more of an actual unique and interesting podcast. Less brain death.
Good.
I guess that's fair.
It's like golf. We want a low score.
Yes.
I guess.
We're not going to get a low score.
We're not going to get a low score. We haven't talked to each other in like 2 weeks. We're going to get into debates. I got some hot takes in here.
Should we just say revolution now?
Revolution now. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop.
Get that out the way.
This does not willfully doing it does not count.
Okay.
Gotta come naturally.
It needs intense. I get it. It's like a wish. You have to believe it in your hearts for it to come true. Is making Purvis break down with laughter one of them?
It's like Kingdom Hearts or something. Just like, what's going on here? You know what? Let's just jump right into it.
All right.
Our third golden nugget. It's been a fun ride so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 10 main categories, and then we're going to be ending it off with our classic golden nugget. Our first category, who we'll be going with, is our sleeper pick. So someone that was a sleeper pick, someone unexpected performance that was really good.
So this is for live music.
This is for live music.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna jump right off and say my unexpected performance was seeing Future and Metro be the worst performance I have seen.
Oh, you're taking a bad way out.
Oh, wow.
Everything else is good. This is the only thing that stands out for me last year. Like, you guys hyped up Future so much.
It was a very
such a good performance.
It is,
and especially with their albums being good, I was hyped for it. Yeah. They were 25, 30 minutes late because of the stage setup, and they blamed it on Lala's people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were cut off right at 10. They were lip singing. It was just horrendous and hands down the worst thing I have seen live. Like, I wish I wasn't at that performance.
It was the worst you've ever seen live.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Because it was so short. It was so overhyped. That's why it was so bad for me.
I feel like that's partially our fault.
That's partially our fault. Yeah. This will come up again. Like, because it was an extremely disappointing set. Like, as someone who's like, I've never seen such a swing from an artist. Like, it is the craziest thing ever. So I can at least corroborate the story. I will say, like, I've seen Babytron live. Like
yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen worse.
Yeah.
But as like me, I have not seen anything worse.
But
than
like
that.
Personally, like if I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, I wish I was at Skrillex over Future. Like, yeah, like that's an L of a show for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Starting off hot. Negative.
Yeah, that was hot. That was a very hot start.
Gotta start hot.
All right. Who's got next?
Jasper, do you want to go?
I'll go. I've got a unique one. Most unexpected performance of the year, Eminem at the Austin Grand Prix.
Okay.
Not only was it like, wow, Eminem is back and performing, it was like when I bought the ticket for Austin, the music lineup wasn't announced. So I didn't know I was going to see Eminem until I had already committed to going to the event, which was like something I would have done regardless. But it was just like a nice bonus on top of that. And he did not disappoint. Like he still got it. He did all of Godzilla live. He did Rap God live. He did basically everything, like all the hits you could think of that are his like main discography or his main library. He did like Toy Soldiers. He did. He went through it all pretty much, except for like some of the more sleeper hits that like I love, but maybe other people, more casual fans, don't necessarily know. But he did stuff off of almost every album, and it was really top tier. It was like that was like you're performing at an international sporting event, and you're gonna need to step it up, and he stepped it up.
Okay. But
Yeah. No,
wasn't there two headliners there?
I respect that. Yeah,
What's
the
that?
headliners weren't hip hop, right?
Two headliners there for the F1? Wasn't there someone else too?
It was 2 nights. So the first night was Sting.
Oh, yeah.
Although Sting did actually play "Shape of My Heart," which is the song that is sampled for "Lucid Dreams," which is pretty cool.
That's fun.
That is pretty cool. I like that. I kind of want to see Eminem. He's not very high on my list, but I think it would be nice to see him before he retires.
That's exactly how I feel. Like I would absolutely like if it was very little effort, I would definitely see Eminem.
I will say, The Alchemist was his DJ.
Yeah, that's sick. That's out. Yeah, that's awesome. Like, like I would have liked to have been at that show before you said that.
Yes.
Like, I'm not the biggest Eminem fan. Like, but yeah, I am certain he still puts on a good show. And yeah, I'm very much in the same boat as Purvis.
Same.
I like that.
Okay, I'm gonna go next. My unexpected, and it's less that like, oh, this was better than I thought it was going to be because I had pretty high hopes going into it, but it was more like what it ended up being, especially given the audience, and that's Flo Milli. I saw her at Summer Smash. I'm a fan of Flo Milli. I think she is like a really solid punchline bar rapper. And it was really crazy because the whole time, like, she's doing like her songs for hip hop fans. And she has a crowd of 16-year-old girls. And it's like like the energy was wild. It was over the top. Like obviously like can't really compete with Travis, but low key probably topped that Mexican OT who came up right after her. Right? Like she really put on like a stunner of a show. And like she freestyled, she did like a bunch of like rapidy rap shit. It was wild. Right? So I had high hopes, but I was still just kind of blown away by it. It wasn't necessarily like the best show I've seen this year, per se, but in terms of like unexpected, that's where I'm gonna go because like I didn't want to go negative because like, yeah, my big disappointment of the year was also Future.
That's valid.
Yeah,
I remember seeing Flo Milli from the balcony section. I wasn't in the crowd with you, and I felt the energy even from up there. It was a great performance.
yeah.
Like there's dancers and everything, right?
Yeah, dancers, everything. She was doing choreography and spinning and everything. It was wild.
I love that. Okay. My sleeper pick. I didn't go to this concert with any of you guys. I actually went with Andrew. I went to see Gunna last year, and I low-key forgot I went to see him. And when I thought about it, it honestly was one of the better shows that I saw last year. It was a phenomenal show. He had lost a ton of weight, and it showed. He had insane stamina. He was in the crowd. He changed costume like 3 times, which is insane to say for an artist in the Aragon. He did all of his big hits. The crowd was feeling it as well. A surprisingly amazing artist in terms of seeing him live. So I won't say I recommend him because nobody else here listens to Gunna.
Yeah.
So I didn't go with anybody else. But it was pretty damn good. Pretty good.
Wow.
The second category, I feel like a lot of us will share an answer, will be top rising artists.
Yeah.
Should we go reverse order now?
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do reverse order.
Okay.
Question.
Starting us off.
Real quick,
Yes.
do we want to bundle these because we know it's a hyphenate for this? Do we want to do both at once, or do we want to split it?
We could do both.
What's the
Top
what do you
rising.
mean the hyphenate?
It's top rising
rising
/
and-
most improved. So we said we were going to do one for each for that.
Oh yeah, I just have those as two separate categories.
Oh, okay. We can do separate.
Yeah, let's just do two separate categories: rising
Okay,
star,
okay.
then most improved.
Yeah, top rising. I don't think it's surprising. I think everyone should have this answer. It's Dochi for me.
Yeah,
Dochi
Yep.
had it.
Same.
yeah, same. Yeah, it is.
We all
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
wow.
I think we're gonna have a few of these, but yeah, it's easily Dochi. Yeah.
Then we'll just move on to the next category.
Yeah, we can just move on.
Well,
like,
I mean, we could all just talk like.
yeah, let's just say our piece.
Yeah.
Like, why do we think she's a huge rising star?
Yes, we will talk about.
Because like,
Let's just say yes.
it is wild the buzz that came around Dochi. Because me and Purvis have been checking her out for about 2 years now,
Yes.
and Loki, we kind of saw this coming. Like, now I knew that she was gonna get the love from like people like us, but she is blowing up. She's getting super popular. People in my
yeah.
office were playing Nissan Altima today. like
Love that.
it is wild like how much support is behind this girl, and man, I'm very excited for the future.
She's so marketable, and with how unique SZA's been with her marketability,
Yeah,
I think that is rubbing off on Dochi, and I think Dochi's like taking note from how SZA's been marketed and how SZA, how she's all weird into bugs and all that.
yeah,
So I think,
yeah. They're just
I
like,
think Dochi's feeding right off that, and then getting inspiration from Kendrick, lyrically and all that. She's got a great team around her, and that's big in it.
you know what's crazy is I was watching an interview with her, and she said that like her like two biggest inspirations were Tyler the Creator and Kendrick Lamar. And like if you just look at Dochi and think about it for a second, it's like, oh, that's actually very obvious. like,
Make perfect sense.
yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Especially with the music video that just dropped.
Yeah, what a banger! Like,
She had an insane year. She's got a tiny desk now. She has multiple music videos out. This whole show video thing.
the mixtape that was an album.
Literally, it's all great.
She's got personality.
Got personality.
No myth.
Features
There's no-
everywhere. Yeah, no, this was a huge year, and I think the only question is, will this year be even bigger?
She's supposed to drop her first studio album.
I'm ready.
I'm excited. All right, now let's do most improved.
Yes. We'll just do the same order because we all have the same answer. For this one though, for me, most improved is going to be Glorilla. She already was doing extremely well, but last year she went on an insane run. So many hits. A great album as well. She's
Good
been
mixtape,
featured
too.
and marketed on a whole nother level compared to the year before. And I won't say like a household name, but if you're within this culture, you know who she is now.
Yeah, she's huge now.
Yeah. But that's my take.
Okay, so she's actually my honorable mention because like I just couldn't ignore because like she started off this year strong, and then like she just like kept that momentum going all the way up to her first album release, and it was wild. I got to see her perform again. You know, she upped the ante even. I wouldn't say necessarily even better, but like certainly scaled up and just as good. But I have to say my undisputed winner, the reason I insisted on this being a category is Yeet. It has to be Yeet. I have never seen, and like I didn't really love the mixtape that came out in September. I listened to it once. I gave Yeet a lot of fucking chances before 2093. I think I still like the mixtape more than anything else that came out before 2093. But 2093 is a stellar album. I don't really have Yeet will come up again, but like I don't have 2093 necessarily many places. But just like the improvement, the development is crazy. right? Like to me, and like I get that I come from a very specific place, but I also don't think I'm alone in that I just do not gel with the rage music. Yeet has, like, for me, almost redeemed that entire subgenre. Right? So, I'm very excited to see where he goes moving forward. That's my pick.
I love that. That was my second one. My first person I feel like I put you on was Travis Scott, and like trying to get you into Travis, which was a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeet was a bigger challenge, but I'm glad we found.
I gave Yeet a lot. No, it's just like I feel like Yeet had to step up to the plate, like, and he did. He like really, really blew my expectations away. Right? That's going to be an experience I don't have. Who knows what it'll be the next time, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, so Jasper.
I also had Yeet. And I mean, it makes perfect sense. Developing your sound, evolving as an artist, these are things that, happen over time. And to make something so consistent for so long like Yeet has, you'd think that's his lane, and that's that. But 2093 is a bit of like a reinvention in a way where it's I want to say this is like when Cardi did the thing where he went from making SoundCloud rap to being Vamp everything. This is that, but like in another direction entirely. It's like a total rebrand when people thought it was just like it was a fixed. They thought that both were known quantities, and now not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I feel like the only major change that he announced, at least for 2093, was just he wasn't doing drugs.
I think there's a huge stylistic.
Oh no! I'm sure there's a lot that went into the music, but I'm saying like the only thing that he said in terms of his personal life that he changed. So I wonder how much it might have impacted it.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right.
I had Glorilla also. Like she's just been featured out the ass. Her marketability has skyrocketed.
She's really just a fantastic talent.
Yeah, exactly. She's the more I listen to her, the more I'm becoming a fan.
Yeah.
It got to the point at some time last year, I straight up told Brandon that Glorilla was big as Megan, which isn't true.
No, yeah, not.
Megan was actually Megan was actually my honorable mention because I feel like her putting out this new album this year kind of solidified her more into the hip hop rap genre than being more marketed in the pop game like she has.
I think that's facts. I think that's undisputed facts. I
think
where
she wants to be.
Yeah.
She wants to be more known as a rapper, not as a pop artist.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely accurate. I think for me personally, I think Glorilla had a bigger uptick.
That's why I won't. Yeah, that's why I won't. Yeah. That's why, because Glorilla, she just had a bigger year and just yeah.
All right, well, let's do music videos. You have 5 minutes to talk as many as you want, as little as you want. Jasper, I feel like you should open this up.
All right, I got 5. I'm going to go through them, and then I'm going to give like a summary, like a quick thing on why I think each one is important or cool.
Okay.
These are in no particular order. Travis Scott, Drugs You Should Try It. Childish Gambino, Lithonia. Childish Gambino, Littlefoot Bigfoot. Doechii, Nissan Altima. And Tyler, the Creator, Noid. Okay. So, from the top, Drugs You Should Try It. Making a music video for a song that's over 10 years old is wild.
Yeah, that was very cool. I thought that was a very, very cool thing.
Yeah, and to like put it out when it's the anniversary of the project and making that into something that is really like an event and a celebration of something that came before, cool. We like to see it. It reminds me of how the Beatles just put out Now and Then, and it's like, rediscovering your love for older music in a way for like a bunch of people, and that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Childish Gambino, the Lithonia video, continues on the theme of Gambino is doing a thing in a video and then becomes a grotesque monster halfway through. Big fan of that. We love consistency from our inconsistent king.
There's some story behind it we don't get yet.
Yeah.
And
some lore that's yet to be revealed.
It's interestingly shot. I'm pretty sure it's shot on film, like real, like 35 millimeter. It does cut off pretty quickly. You don't get the full kind of crescendo of the song, but it serves its purpose. It looks very good. The lighting is excellent. The direction, the cinematography is all there. All the parts are there. Following that, Littlefoot, Bigfoot. Honestly, probably my most watched video this year. I probably came back and watched this video the most times out of any of the ones on this list. Just the opening, the kind of, I want to say like 20s, 30s aesthetic, the really harsh kind of black and white filtering on it, and then just the premise of being an entertainer or a group of entertainers going to this rough and tumble bar out in the middle of nowhere, and just that concept and the kind of like world building behind it is a lot of fun. Also, Young Nudie being Bigfoot in the mountains is just like a super cool. Yeah, some really cool shots, like some fun like miniature play and stuff like that. And it's also just a banging song, especially this newer version that we got this year. So all around one of my favorites. Nissan Altima, I don't think I really need to say a whole lot. It's like it was already one of the best bangers of the year, I think, and to put an insane video over it of exactly what you would expect from a song called Nissan Altima, and making that into what it is. Some videos just like script themselves, you know, but really solid, and I'd say worthy of the song that's so high energy, and it kind of maintains that visually, even though the song is on the longer side. And I think of the five, Noid is my favorite artistically, directorially, in terms of like the way it blends different elements, the kind of the everyday, the normal, and the paranoid in a way that feels really kind of, it's got like an otherworldly quality to it while also being very grounded or like very relatable. And it references.
Sorry, is that the one with him actually on the plane, or is that the other music video?
No, that's Thought I Was Dead.
Okay, I'm trying to remember.
No, it is the one where he's like going out in public and he's like he's like thinking about getting attacked and like he's being followed and stuff.
Okay.
And that video has a ton of classic cinema references. One of the ones that people have been misconstruing forever is the one of his eyes in the rearview mirror when he's like watching behind him on the road. People were attributing that to like all kinds of stuff. That's actually a reference to the 1960s episode of The Twilight Zone called The Hitchhiker. And I
watched that this year.
Yeah, it's a direct shot-for-shot remake of that. And all these posts, like Complex, Modern Notoriety, like all these places are trying to like tie it to other stuff. Like, I don't know, like Drive or like other more like modern films. It's like, nope, this is a really deep cut. And it's pretty cool to see that make a comeback in a piece of media that's gotten so much love and attention.
Yeah.
Okay. I like all those.
I'll go next. So I actually only had three, and it's going to be pretty short. I'll start with Noid. That was actually one of mine also. I just like that with Tyler the Creator kind of like more opening up on himself and rapping more about what's going on with his life. I liked how he made a song about him being paranoid and like showing all the different types of paranoia that he goes through in the music video. I thought that was actually really cool. And then the other two I have is Taylor Swift by A$AP Rocky. Every music video he does, he has such a unique cinematography, story, videography. Everything he does in his music videos is just so different and unique, and they're all kind of filmed the same. It's like A$AP Rocky, you're going to expect his music video kind of to be done a certain style. And then the other one is Not Like Us, Kendrick. I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't need to explain on that. With what he just did for the West Coast on that, it's just
yeah.
That's fair.
That's all I got.
Brandon, how many songs do you have?
I have three.
Just go.
Okay, so mine are my first one that I really liked. They're all kind of recent. Like I watch a lot of music videos, but like, I don't know. This year, I just wasn't in the mental space to be like as critical as I usually am. But first one that I really, really loved, Back in the Paint, Denzel Curry. A really unique music video in New York with like a featuring Waka Flocka Flame on a song that is more or less just a cover, not a cover, but a remix of Hard in the Paint. Just capturing the energy of the song and like Nissan Altima, which like is a better video, but like we'll get to why that's not why that's not one of them in a second. Like it's a very long song and like they just keep the energy up for a long, long time. And I also like that Lyrical Lemonade is bringing in more directors while still maintaining like the look and feel that they have cultivated. I mean, nothing looks just like Cole Bennett, but I think this didn't need that specific vision to come alive, and I'm happy it exists. The other one that I really, really fucked with was Glorilla's music video. I think the thing I really liked about this is that the song is like very much like an early 2000s DMX song. Like it's like very much like an old school like hype hip hop track. And I like that the video harkens back to that just as much as the song does. Right. It's her like in a bunch of different outfits, like flexing on people and like acting out scenarios. It feels a lot like watching MTV After School in the early 2000s. And I feel like that is my favorite part about Glorilla as an artist is that like she does sound very modern, but she does have like kind of like an early 2000s vibe to her that I really like. But easily the winner, and this is a technicality, but it was a technicality that I was encouraged to take by the people on the podcast. Denial is a River by Doechii. The song was teased at the end. It's a song from 2024, and it was teased in 2024. It came out, I think, on the second day of the year. So yeah, seeing as we're recording this late, I'm gonna take it. I thought the sitcom setup like fits the vibe of the track very well because it's very much like a story track. I love the way it subverts it with like the long wide lens shot in the middle where she's like bleeding from the nose and everything. It reminds me a lot of like the level of like symbolism and thought and that we get in like a Kendrick Lamar video. But it's also just like a lot of fun. It was just a very fun video at the same time. And I do agree with like the conspiracy theories about the promotion for the video, like being like she's using this to promote the album. But yeah. Oh, and a quick shout out. I don't know. I don't want to step on Purvis's toes, so I won't go long. But Squabble Up.
Okay. Yeah.
The Squabble Up video is fucking crazy. Like,
it's a very good video.
Yeah. Right. I don't know how they got a car inside, but they're probably not inside. Like, it probably just looks like that. Like,
very dope. Okay. I honestly used this opportunity to talk about other singles that I couldn't put in my top 5. Just really good songs with great music videos as well. Starting off, Smino, Dear Friend, is the only music video off of this album, mixtape vibe album that came out last year. Very good production, just very entertaining. I liked it a lot. The second one, $1 Million Baby, Tommy Richmond. This song was an absolute moment last year.
One of the best songs of the year. It's like that album was disappointing.
It was a disappointing album.
It's there's good tracks on it. I still think Tommy could have a cool career, but $1 Million Baby was a moment.
It was an absolute moment, and I had high expectations for him. And even the music video is pretty unique. It has a VHS effect on it. It's shot in like a fisheye lens. It's a dope video, but I hope he has a return to glory.
Yeah, no, I think he will. Because I think the singles promoting it, like I remember showing them to Rachel, and she was like, "These are his best songs." So I'm like, "Oh,
Those were his best songs."
Yeah, not $1 Million Baby and Devil Is a Lie. There was like a couple songs that were from the Coyote album that like I really liked, and then I just listened to the album and it just didn't grab me at all.
Yeah,
but
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
The third one, just because it was a very big moment for the artists themselves, 21 Savage, Red Rum, actually going to London, being able to leave the country, and having an amazing music video is insane.
That is nuts.
It's just, yeah, it's a combination of great things, and it's such a moment for the artist that I think needs to be highlighted. In a similar fashion, Megan Thee Stallion going to Tokyo and just absolutely dominating that atmosphere and that culture, and not like taking advantage of it, but actually like appreciating it the way it should. I think it's called Mamusha.
Yeah.
Wow, what a music video! Absolutely phenomenal, and bringing in the different cultures. You guys know I want to go to Tokyo. I loved it.
Yeah, we know you're a weeb.
And then, last but not least, Big Dogs, Handy Man made them on a motorcycle within that gate. That was a moment as well. Absolutely phenomenal song. And I love that music video. And you're going to have to look it up. And as soon as you look it up, 5 seconds in, you're going to know what this is. I promise you.
I bet I will. Yeah. All right.
Should we go into the best overall songs then?
Yeah, we should.
I'm waiting for that.
All right.
All right.
Ooh, I'm about to aim for myself.
Do we have does anyone have honorable mentions?
I do not have honorable. We said best 5.
And one.
Okay, I won't do any honorable mentions then. But like,
I mean, I do have a couple.
I have a couple of honorable mentions. I like basically have like a bunch.
Man, I would have had like 5 more.
No, hold on. I have a take on this. I think there's one acceptable honorable mention this year, and that's Not Like Us. Because we know it's a hit, we know it's the song of the year. But
for sure, it is not on my top 5 for a reason.
It is on mine. It is mine, but I'll take it off.
I think it's kind of a gimme to put it on there just because of how ubiquitous that song is with this year.
That's how I feel about Kendrick and the Golden Nugget. Period. Like,
and I'll take it off.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. That's like, yeah, but for sure.
Yes, I will take that off.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just run through my honorable mentions, just not gonna say another word about it. Twisting Fingers, That Mexican OT, Devil Is a Lie, Tommy Richmond, Breathe, Yeet, and Family Matters, Drake.
Okay.
Two of them might be on someone's list, but I have On the Set, Freddie Gibbs, Ohio, Schoolboy Q, Lithonia, Gambino, and Now Is a River Dochi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, were those your honorable mentions, or was the
those are my honorable.
Yeah.
Do we want to do round robin?
Yeah, we should definitely do round robin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, Purvis, give us a max of 5 honorable mentions right now off the top. Let's do it.
Oh, I would have had to written everything down. I cannot tell you the amount of times I edited this shit. 5. You guys told me you had multiple honorable mentions. I'm pissed.
You should have anticipated. This is normally 10. We normally do like 10 songs, but now we have 4 people.
I've got
I'm the
2
one that said in the text, I said, "Are you guys sure you want to do 5?" And everybody was like, 5.
Yeah, I thought you said 5 in honorable mentions, but okay.
I've got 2 just quick ones, and that's Denial's River, obviously, and Urine 101.
Okay.
Good ones, yeah.
All right, let's go into the actual best 5.
Okay, perfect.
Mine isn't even in order either, so.
Mine's in order.
Mine's not.
Mine is.
Mine's in order. It's very general. Like there's a number 1, and then there's everything else. Like,
are you comparing
I'm actually probably in the same boat.
Yeah, there's like a number 1. There's everything else.
All right, Brandon, you haven't started us off.
Okay, my first one is gonna be Back in Love, Schoolboy Q. It's a deep cut from the Blue Lips album. I was a big fan of the Blue Lips album. This song just has so much energy. It's so weird. Like, I remember Schoolboy Q being the weird music guy. Yeah, like for a long time. Yeah. And I think like being able to just capture like the authentic gangster rap sound and like weird borderline experimental vibes just coming together. I loved it. This song just like kind of him rededicating himself to hip hop after this 5-year hiatus, and like seeing that it seems like he's going to start shepherding a generation of artists himself, so this seemed like a rallying cry for the next era of Schoolboy Q's career, and I loved it. So 5, Back in Love.
Okay. I'll just go next then. Like I said, I didn't have any honorable mentions, so all of my 5 are like very deep cuts. So like more personal songs I tried to be selective of. My first one is going to be Stealth Mode, J. Cole. J. Cole had a rough year last year. He's still one of my favorite artists, but this was an absolute...
He had a good run at the end.
He had a good run at the end, yes. But this song, and like featuring Boz, this song hits. I don't know what it was, but like...
Is this off Might Delete Later?
Yes, it's off of Might Delete Later.
No.
The celebration of just having those two big people in Dreamville come together and make an absolute banger of a song. It's a great song. So that's going to be my first one. Stealth Mode.
Jasper?
Sure. My 5th on this list is Breathe.
Very good.
Nice.
Certified banger. Listened to it a lot this year. And the fact that it samples fucking basketball episode of Regular Show is a triumph.
I love that episode so much.
Get more creative with sampling. This is what sampling is for right here.
Bring it back, 2025.
Love it. My 5th one's gonna be Like That. That's my 5th one. It's the start of the beef of the century. It's one of the top songs of the year.
Yeah.
And I mean, Metro, Future, and Kendrick can't go wrong. They were just phenomenal together.
Yeah.
Beat slaps. Metro killed it on the beat. Like
some
top to bottom
verses from Future that you have to get
so
through.
Good.
Yeah.
So good. It's so good.
It's so good. Like, can't complain.
Like that.
Alrighty.
All right. Me next.
Yeah.
Brought it up last round. Don't care. Easily one of the most listened to songs of the year for me. Yeah, Glow.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, Glow.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this song's so fucking good, dude. This song,
It's a great song.
like, it had more legs on it than Not Like Us for me. Like, I fucking adore this song. Like, and I think it was an awesome introduction for Glorilla into the mainstream, because this really was like when normies started hearing about her, right? So just an excellent, just all around head to toe incredible song. So yeah, number 4, Yeah, Glow.
I knew that was going to come up because you text me Yeah Glow a lot.
Dude, it's so good. Before I let these hoes play with me, I'll go eat some jail food.
It's a hit. It is a hit.
That's a bar. Like,
Can't deny it.
That's a
All right. Am I next then?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Again, deep cuts. Everybody's favorite uncle, The Alchemist. Self-explanatory.
That's so good. That's so good. I
Didn't
love
hear his album?
The Alchemist.
Go
Yeah, his album's gonna come up. Yeah.
Such a good album. Such a good album.
I'm trying to
Everybody's favorite
spread
uncle, that's
everything
me.
across. Like, my niece grabbed the phone and called me today, and now I'm like, everybody's favorite uncle, me. Like,
Literally, as soon as I heard the song, that's me. So yeah, love that.
Jasper.
All right.
Next up for me, I've got a song that technically did release in 2024, even though the music video came out a little bit early. That's Stop Giving Me Advice, which is Lyrical Lemonade, Jack Harlow, and Dave.
very good. Very good. I wanted to use the music video, but it didn't technically come out this year.
Yeah, it was like December of last year, but what a song.
Very good song.
Great song.
Yeah,
Very
I
good.
think that counts as a 2024 release.
My number 4 is gonna be Sticky, Tyler the Creator.
Hey,
Very fun. Very
This
fun.
album was one of my favorites.
Easily one of the easiest to
it-
listen to albums of the year.
Easy.
Purvis?
Randy?
Oh, is it my turn?
Oh, it was you.
My third one. Okay. So, third one. This is a song that grew on me over the course of the year and just now I just will forever associate it with 2024, and that is "A Place Where Love Goes" by Childish Gambino.
Yes,
That song sounds like a wall of angels. Like
I was so. I was
Nice.
That song makes you want.
one.
It's
so glad
so
you picked
fucking incredible, right? I like Bando Stone a lot. Like it, for some reason, like I almost don't even think about it as a, like a hip hop album. Like for me, like it doesn't even fully like I just don't think about it in that way. But I do love Bando Stone a lot, and this was one of my most listened to songs of the year. One of the best songs of the year. Yeah, I have no other ways to say it. It felt like it took aspects of Childish Gambino from all across his career and like fused it into like, and I think like this is mostly true for Bando Stone, but like on this song specifically, it's like it feels like just a pinnacle of his career. So,
it's a love letter.
Yeah, it's incredibly good.
And it has a Hadaway interpolation, which is crazy.
Wild.
All right. My third song is going to be from the Ab Soul Project.
Oh, here we go.
It's going to be California Dream. Oh my God, it's so good. California Dream, I don't know why it hits so hard. It has a beat switch. Vince Staples came in and did an insane verse and chorus. California Dream just hits. Oh, it hits. I don't know what it is for me. And then it came out the music video, and I just got a second wave. I feel like Absol isn't going to get the credit he got or he deserves last year because there's just so much going on in 2024. But damn, was this a good song?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be mine.
That's really good.
All right, Jasper.
Jasper.
Thought I Was Dead. Tyler, the Creator.
Song's incredible. Yeah.
This is my favorite song off this album for sure.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just the lyrics, the video is good. Not my favorite video off the project, but like the energy behind this is so intense. And it's like this
maybe
album
Tyler's best verse ever.
It's up there for sure. It's like this album is more raw. It has less polish. It's a lot more just kind of like upfront and in your face about what it's communicating and like its intentions. But at the same time, you don't lose any of that fire that comes with his more polished and produced work. You know, he's got aggressive, intense verses on Igor, Flower Boy, on Call Me If You Get Lost. And I was thinking he might back away from that a little bit with this project, and he does not. Again, like just the beginning of the second verse, the way he comes in, white boys mocking this shit, y'all mad at me, y'all could suck my dick, pull up old tweets, pull up old t-shirts, and I'll moonwalk over that bitch. It's just like
so good.
He's back. The return of the king. It's up there.
He's so back.
Yeah, literally.
Love that.
That's a great song. And an incredible feature too.
You ain't Coco Goff, you can't serve me.
Okay, that is a bar.
Yeah.
now that I hear it outside of the song, that is a bar.
Yes.
Okay.
My next one is gonna be High and Holy, Killer Mike.
That came out last year.
Was that last year?
That was 2023.
It's also on the one he released this year.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Songs for the Sinner.
You weren't on the podcast last year. You allow it. Like,
yeah, but
it's a technicality, but yes, because it's
it's on songs with. It's on the one they released this year, so that's what I went off.
Okay.
Hey, if Apple says 2024, it's 2024.
You could have it. Yeah.
We'll give it to you.
Got it right there. You see.
Amazing.
Boom.
Love that. Late.
I made sure. I made sure. It's one of the songs that I've been listening to a lot.
It's a good song. Good song. So I like that.
All right.
Man, who knew Brandon was going to be
Brandon?
the one Mike first?
Yeah, no. My next one, it's already been said, but it is just top tier song of the year. I think it's this artist's opus so far, and that's Sticky. Tyler, the Creator, like Chromacopia in and of itself is just like an accomplishment, but I think making a song with like the scope of Sticky that is just like so fun and listenable it's wild, right? I'm very much in the camp that it doesn't need longer verses, it needs more features. Like, and no, I think it reminds me a lot like of Tyler's version of like All of the Lights. Like, it's just so big and like him. And yeah, no, it was easily a standout song for me of the year, of Tyler. Like, I think there are better verses on the album, like Fly Was Dead. I think there are certainly more hard hitting, like emotional songs on the album. But in terms of just like producer know-how, how to put a song together, how to put people together, like this was just an accomplishment. So number 2, Sticky.
This is a great way to explain it. All of the Lights was a good reference for that.
Yeah.
My fourth one, again, all of these are just deep cuts for me. I've been one of my angel boys is Kenny Mason, and I've been promoting Kenny Mason for a very long time.
Kenny Mason evangelist over here.
Yes.
On the holy crusade of Kenny Mason.
He has been having a great year. He doesn't get a lot of attention quite yet, but it's been a jump from 2023. And his album came out mixtape album came out last year. Great project. I'm going to take Angel Eyes off of it. It's just such a good project. And that song, I think, is the best one on there. So that's what I'm going to go with. Angel Eyes.
Amazing.
Jasper?
Back to me. We got... Where'd I go? So my top 2 are interchangeable depending on how I'm feeling. I'm going to go with what I think is the one I feel more often last. And my second one then technically is Yoshinoa. So
good one.
Gambino, Bando Stone. Some of the best bars of the year in terms of just like, I guess just like one of the smoothest flows out there.
Very much. Very, very incredible flow on this song.
He was rapping.
I put your boy in the seat. Oh my god. Having him back to deliver stuff like this after such a hiatus is just it's so gratifying.
He deserves it for the bars suck my dick and doggy bag the balls. Like,
man, what a line. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, wild.
It's and the fact that this is also like a response to the whole It's All a Blur tour thing fills me with joy.
Yeah.
Gotta sneak in some Drake hate in there.
It is what it is. I'm right when I'm right.
Are you gonna come up with a lyric right now on the spot?
That was a lyric.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff.
Alrighty. So my number 2 song, I did want to include this music video in the music videos, but I didn't because I wanted to keep it a little more mixed up because a lot of my list is the same. It's gonna be Drive by SZA. Yeah, it came out late, but I've listened to it a bunch. It is a
so good song. Such a good song.
Song to just go on a cruise, just drive down Lakeshore Drive and have this bumping. It's one of those perfect songs for a playlist like that.
Yeah, very personal song there.
Very personal, get you in your feels. We are in sad boy season.
This is the warm up to Blonde. You turn that on before you get to LSD.
Yeah. Yeah. Or as you just get on and then boom, boom. Yeah.
All right, Brandon, let's close this out.
All right. My number 1, best song of the year. Easily, like, it's Like That. It's got to be Like That, dude. This song's fucking incredible. Like I knew that because like all the songs from the Beef are like my favorite song of the year. Like low key, like you could take Like That out and put probably any of the diss tracks or any song from GNX really, and put it, not any song, but like a lot of the songs from GNX, and put it right here in this number 1 spot. But Like That it just was the moment, right? Like it was just, it became, the second you hear Kendrick Lamar's voice, it's like, holy shit, something's about to start. And it did, dude. Like the entire like changing of the guard in hip hop happened this year. Like I think like there's we're gonna start seeing things go down a different path. I don't know what that path will be, or like, I'm sure some things are gonna get worse and some things are gonna get better, but they're gonna be different than they were.
Yes.
And I also just, I love that this wasn't when this beef inevitably did happen, because we all knew eventually it was going to happen. Like, me and Purvis have talked about the same way, there's an inevitable Second American Civil War. Like, we talked about an inevitable Kendrick and Drake beef. And like,
Drake, the desire, when is it going to happen? Like,
yeah, exactly. And like, I'm happy it happened on like a Future song. Like, I'm happy it wasn't like, like, yes, he went to like some really dark places on like Meet the Grams, some very West Coast places on Not Like Us. But like, I like that there was this entire like fuck Drake moment, right? And like the other thing is,
we got to see Drake become a bitch.
Yeah, the other thing is that like I also really like this album a lot. I like this album. I like the second album. Like I like the We Don't Trust You albums a lot as well, right? So I think balancing all that out, yeah, it's like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Again, mine was not out of order, but now that you brought up Kendrick Lamar, I actually did have one honorable mention. I'll go through it very quickly. Watch the Party Die is not an official release, but oh my god, it's so good. It's only on his Instagram. It's the one with the with the black Air Forces.
Yeah. I'm aware. Yeah,
it is so good. But that's my honorable mention now that I think about it. But my last one, I can't believe I'm going to be the one to say this artist, because I've been the one that's been pushing against this artist for the longest. JPEG Mafia, either On or Off the Drugs, might be one of the best songs of the year.
I still gotta get around to that album, man. I know, and I love JPEG Mafia. Yeah.
See, I actually prefer the Call Me Maybe.
What'd you say, Jasper?
I prefer the Call Me Maybe cover over that.
The Call Me Maybe cover?
Yeah.
Was that on
You don't know it? Well, he does it live. I don't know about if it's actually released.
I've seen it.
It's wild. He does an auto-tune a cappella cover of Carly Rae Jepsen's Call Me Maybe at the shows. It's incredible. It's like actually really good.
I'll have to look this up now. But honestly, this song turned the tide for me. Like,
yeah.
I won't say I'm fully on the JPEG Mafia boat, but
this shocking.
Song might be one of the best songs of the year.
Interesting.
And an amazing sample to open it up with. Jesus, oh my god.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Jasper.
I think this is going to be a curveball for all of you, but my number one song of the year.
It's Push-Ups.
Fuck no.
Family Matters.
Denzel Curry, Black Flag Freestyle.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Dude, I've been known to spend a lot like Bob Barker, The Price is Right. Being broke my kryptonite, being rich my superpower. He's speaking to me. Renovating my place over the last year, it has felt like my superpower is having money sometimes. And I'm like,
having money is a superpower. Like, that's the thing.
Relevant for all the
Batman,
wrong reasons.
Like,
it's Batman. Yeah. Like,
but also, I think literally my favorite line of the year. If my music made you deaf, then bitch, my jewelry made you blind. So good. I fucking love this song.
Dude, Draco built like Bushwick Bill.
Yeah. Dude, and the Mexico T-verse, so good.
Definitely one of the better workout music of last year.
Yeah.
Took over the workout music.
It's been a good year for Florida rap, honestly.
Very good year for Florida rap.
Between this and Doechii, and it's just, man, like, keep it coming.
No, definitely.
My number one song of the year is going to be Luther, Kendrick and SZA.
Oh, great choice. Yeah. Great choice.
That song. The first time I heard her SZA's verse on that song, that just phenomenal. The beat's perfect. SZA and Kendrick just need to do an album together.
Yeah, this is close, but yeah, you're right.
She is like the cherry on top of a Kendrick song, I feel.
Yeah.
We're going to hear thousands of people singing it.
It's going to be so good. I'm so fucking excited for this tour.
We're gonna see him perform it live together.
So yeah, no, that's easily like one of the best songs of the year. Like,
Yeah,
GNX releasing at the end of the year really fucked a lot of things up for me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting towards the second half. The best 3-song performances. We didn't see as many concerts as we did in 2023, but we saw a decent amount still.
yeah. So the best 3-song performances, but okay.
Yeah.
Round robin.
Sure.
Do you want to start us off, Purvis? We haven't started us off in a while.
Sure. The third one, and mine is actually in order. I did do these in order. The third best song performance, unfortunately, and I won't get into the details, it is the only song I saw at the concert. But 2024 at Mick Jenkins went so
2004.
I mean, 2004, not 2024. 2004, Mick Jenkins went so incredibly hard.
He did it twice.
Oh my God, it went so incredibly hard.
That was really good.
But yeah, that was a highlight for me. That moment was phenomenal.
So good.
But yeah. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. My next one is a song that has actually already been brought up. Killer Mike, High and Holy, with the choir at Lollapalooza. His Lollapalooza set was phenomenal. You know, he had a full choir. Yeah. High and Holy was like the last song they did together. Just the Killer Mike set will come up again, obviously. But this was my favorite song from it. Maybe my favorite song performed at Lollapalooza. We saw a lot of great artists there, but this was just outstanding. So yeah, High and Holy, Killer Mike.
Yep. Yeah, I'll go next just to back up Brandon. Yeah, I would agree. Him having the choir with him, just having it feel like you're at church was just amazing.
The choir was
Jasper,
nuts. The solos
they
was
were phenomenal.
crazy.
Yeah, they were phenomenal. Like it's something you'd expect Killer Mike to do by himself.
Exactly. And like, listen, I've seen the dude. The dude's a consummate performer. This is my third time seeing him live, and it may have been even more impressive than the other ones. Obviously not as high energy as Run the Jewels, but just as much in like a different way. And
he's
like
taking you to church.
And like really like just having the choir there was crazy. Like I think like one of my favorite moments at any concert this year was when he let the choir do solos, and it was 3 girls and a dude. And these 3 girls just go and they do crazy solos, and they get to the dude, and you can like hear the crowd be like, "Okay, what's this guy gonna do? Like, how can?"
All right, we should hold back if this is part of your live performance.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Song performance.
Perfect.
Because we know it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we know it is.
Yeah, no, you're right. I completely forgot about that section. It's a long episode.
Don't spoil it for yourself.
Jasper.
Right.
So my 3 are interchangeable. I can't rank these. They're all special in different ways. I'll go in chronological order of when we saw them, I guess. The first one is, it was very early in the new year. Travis Scott, the Utopia tour, doing Can't Say with Don Toliver.
That was great. Yeah.
That hit.
I cried. This is like,
a good pull.
Yeah.
That's been one of my favorite songs for a long time, and to see them finally do it together after like wanting to see Travis for such a long time, and then, you know, the pandemic happened, and then Astroworld happened, and who knew if he was ever going to actually, you know, bounce back like that, and he did, and he put on a show, and it was excellent, and then he brought out the dude who he put on and made basically, you know, Don Toliver's career really jumped off of this song in a lot of ways. It was their first string on something together.
We were supposed to see Tizo. We weren't even supposed to see that.
Yeah, and it just worked out, and what a performance!
Yeah,
them going back and forth, and then right after that they did what is it? Bandit. So what a time!
We got to see it before anyone else.
Yeah.
Good pull. That's a good pull.
That was a very good pull.
Ready?
Is it me again?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start us off.
Number 2 for me came late in the year. This is the only concert I cried at. But surprisingly, of all the songs that he played,
Franklin.
No. of all the songs that he played there, The Show Goes On, Lupe Fiasco.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I cried at Lupe too. When I saw Lupe, I cried.
I didn't think it would hit me that hard, but just seeing like someone who grew up here in Chicago excel and do so well and mean so much to the city. He got a key to the city that night too. It was just a lot going on. And that song is like it's not a very deep lyrical hip hop song. It's off of Lasers, but man, it hit. It was like a triumph song. Just it was great.
It's very good. My turn. Okay, my next one is going to be something I don't think I saw with anyone on the podcast. And it's an audible because I had a different song written down and I remembered this and I couldn't not say it. And that is Tizo Touchdown doing the entirety of Modern Jam at Lollapalooza.
Oh, I saw him do that at Avondale Music Hall the year prior. Yeah.
So, he comes out and instead of just doing his part on Modern Jam, which if you do a good enough job, that's fine. Like, he does the entire song. He does Travis's part. You know, I completely echo what Jasper said. When we get to best performances, I'll have a thing about Travis Scott. But like, but yeah, like it was really great to see Can't Say live. But I was like kind of upset that like we wouldn't see Modern Jam.
Yeah.
This was a excellent consultation prize, and it was really impressive to see Tizo hold it on his own. So, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So my next one is going to be from earlier in the year. It's going to be Same Drugs by Chance. When I saw him at his charity show, it's one of my favorite songs from him. And with it being such an intimate show at the Ramova and me being so close, it's just like, it's a great song.
I still regret
especially to hear live.
That was my biggest mistake of last year.
Yeah.
Not going with you. I could have went that night.
Yeah, I had a free ticket. Just buy one, get one free.
You had the chance.
I know that's something on your list, and you just did it.
You got me. Okay. Congratulate me on being basic.
Go ahead. What's yours?
I'm sorry to do this to you all again, but the second of my 3 is also Travis Scott.
Of course it was.
I'm at Summer Smash doing my favorite song of all time, Butterfly Effect, and being center lane in the center of the crowd at the main stage, night 1 closing at Summer Smash, and seeing the build and the build and the build, and then the fireworks go off and you go into the actual chorus of it. That's like burned into my memory. And I have an amazing video of it too that I go back and I watch and I get goosebumps like every time. I'm gonna have to put it in the I just accidentally did song lyrics. Get goosebumps every time. I'm gonna have to put it in the Discord or something so that you can all see it, because I think I like showed it to you, but it's a moment, and that's like something worth keeping.
It was a very dope moment. I am very thankful that I was there with you.
Yeah, that was a very cool night.
Shout out Sophie.
Shout out Sophie. Okay, whose turn is it now?
I think my number 1. It was a rough night for me, but I do remember this because of how important it was. But Acid Rain, Chance the Rapper, self-explanatory. I don't need to say anything else.
Was that this year?
That was last year.
2024?
That was 2024.
Oh, that was 23. I saw him in 24. Yeah, because I saw him in April. We saw him in October.
That was the Acid Rap 10-year tour, and the Acid Rap came out in 2013. Or not even tour, the show.
That was 24.
Did you just get your years switched up?
No. I saw him in April at the Ramova.
That's the case.
Yeah, dude, that was like...
Yeah, that was firmly in 2023.
Then I'm going to go with Schoolboy Q. Seeing Schoolboy Q and him doing
Dude, that was August 20th, 2023.
I had it mixed up then.
Yeah.
Come back to me then.
Okay.
Brandon, go ahead.
I'll pick up this torch because mine is Schoolboy Q Man of the Year, and this is easily my number one. Right, like the Schoolboy Q concert was incredible. Man of the Year is just a song I have a ton of memories around because it's such an older song. It was so huge when it hit. It stuck with me all these years. It's one of those songs that you have like, almost like the rings of like a tree. You have like layers of memories. So yeah, seeing him do it live and do it so well. What could have been better?
Yeah. I'll go next. Mine is also Schoolboy Q. It's There He Go, Hands on the Wheel.
That was really
When
good.
he performed that, like being a day one Schoolboy Q fan and hearing that song 11 years prior when he was opening up for Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller to hearing it when he's as big as he is now hits even better, and it just brings back so many memories.
I'm sure we will be talking about that concert again.
We will be.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jasper.
All right. So yeah, mine are chronological, but I think this is equally important as the other two, just in terms of like the order where I'd place them. And like I said, I can't really rank them. Chief Keef, Love Sosa, live in front of sold out Summer Smash was a moment in time.
That sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's been 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's that. Yeah. I was very upset I had to miss that.
Yeah.
All right.
Bitches do love Sosa, just for the record. They still do. 10 years later, they still do. Or 12 years later, Jesus.
Purvis, did you figure it out?
No, because I'm going to talk about Schoolboy Q in general in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But should we do the best overall artist outside of your Golden Nugget?
I think we should push this down to just before the Golden Nugget.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are we doing the top 5 live performances?
Yeah.
Overall, yes.
Overall.
Not just songs.
Overall.
Yeah, overall. Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Either way.
Oh, no, yeah. Jasper, go ahead.
Mine is an extension of the song performances. Either time we saw Travis Scott is one of the top 5 for me. And these are not in any particular order.
Oh, yeah. If there's like an honorable mention, I'm going to say Travis Scott because Utopia Tour was crazy. And the demarcation line of quality for that Cactus Jack show when Travis Scott walks on the stage was palpable.
Yes.
Right. Like, so I am a known Travis Scott hater, but I can't like if there's an honorable mention for this year, to me, it's Travis Scott.
Yeah. The artistry is there. The showmanship is there.
He is absolutely a top tier performer. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I, in reality, do not have mine in order. So if we hear a name, should we just jump in? Because Travis Scott is in my top 5.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let me start off because mine are in order. And mine's in a fucked up weird order because my number 5 is actually my number 1. It is by far the best show I saw this year, but this artist is just extremely far outside the purview of the Unpaid Nobodies. But it was such an iconic performance. I cannot have a music podcast and not talk about it. So my number 5 was Chapel Roan. Like
same.
Yeah, her
same, like that was,
and this is like in reality, this is my number 1. This is the best thing I've seen this year. There are just other artists I connect to more on an emotional level of wanting to see them longer,
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of just like a performance happening in front of you, there was no competition.
It was an I was there moment, biggest Carlisle Plouis has ever had, and it was just like, it was an I was there moment. Like,
it is.
It was insane.
Yeah, it was a cultural flashpoint. So it was obviously like it was the artist I wanted to get out of the way first because it's outside the purview of this podcast by a wide margin. But I just could not.
Was on mine.
Yeah, I just could not say nothing. So my number 5 was Chapel Roan.
Yeah, that was on mine also.
I was asking Brandon, did Hosier make the list?
Hosier did not make those. Everyone else on this list is strictly hip hop.
Okay.
But Hosier was
my next one. I'll go with my next one because that's not hip hop. That was Teddy Swims at Lollapalooza.
Oh,
He brings
a lot.
his probably performs. He just brings like that soul bluesy style.
I'm getting into
has-
Teddy Swims.
He has a golden microphone and mic stand he brings out. He doesn't wear shoes on stage,
Yeah, I don't know
and
about
he
that
just he sings his heart out, and you just feel the emotions in his voice.
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Who else wants to do their fifth one?
I'll just go.
Well, that was my fourth, but because
We're all over the
Chapel.
place. Yeah.
Let's go in a whatever order. It doesn't have to be 1 through 5, but let's go
Yeah.
in order where the last one's is going to be one we think we all share. Like Travis Scott is something we all share. I think.
Oh well, I already did that, so I'm gonna go the opposite order.
Yeah. Yeah, my number one is one that we all share for sure. Like, well, maybe not all, but
Same.
like,
I think something that's outside the scope, just because I know nobody else went to this performance. Mavi had a phenomenal album that came out last year. It is very deep underground, but the quality is fantastic. His performance was very small, very personal. It was a great performance. So that's going to be one of mine. Still hip hop, but
yeah, no,
very much
definitely.
underground.
Okay, so are we on to number 4 now? And Jeff has already gone.
Well,
to
I
number
mean,
4.
I mean that would have been 4 because Jasper and Purvis had Travis.
Oh,
me and
yeah.
you had Chapel,
Yeah.
and then I went Teddy Swims. He went Mavi, so it'd be you and Jasper for 4.
Okay, so then mine would be motherfucking. Oh, Killer Mike. Yeah, like it was.
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
explain
We
that story.
started talking about it, and then we had to cut you off.
Yeah, no, Killer Mike, excellent. The story was the male singer then did the vocal harmony from Flashing Lights, the Kanye West song, and it was the
Yeah.
craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. No, it was like a very subversive experience. It was exactly what I wanted from the Michael show. I kind of already went on over it, so I don't have much to say beyond what I've already said. But yeah, no, Killer Mike was. I had like weirdly tampered expectations because I was like, what could this be? But I let that get the best of me, and I was blown away. So yeah, Killer Mike.
You told me
That was on mine also. So that would be my number 3. So you guys go ahead.
All right. Also self-explanatory. Chief Keef, just generally, like the whole.
That was on mine also.
So let's just should we just run through at this point and be like,
Yeah.
because that
Okay.
Jeff,
Yeah.
2 left.
My next one is That Mexican OT. I think I was the only one there.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, That Mexican OT was. Yeah, That Mexican OT was incredible. He is absolutely one of my golden boys, and just being able to get that proof that like, oh, he's someone who can do this live and not just record was fucking incredible. And yeah, it was easily my favorite Summer Smash performance I've ever seen. And yeah, no, That Mexican OT. And then my other one, I don't know if Jeff has this because he was there.
Schoolboy Q.
That's my number 1. My other one would be Kenny Beats.
Oh, I don't have that.
Oh, Kenny Beats at Lollapalooza was insane. It was so good.
Yeah, that was a good set.
He did a house music remix of Bandit. It was wild.
Yes.
Right? It was. Yeah.
I saw him open for Joji. It was really insane.
Yeah, he's wild. So Kenny Beats, and then Schoolboy Q is my number 1. Easily my favorite show of the year.
I had Schoolboy Q in there.
Schoolboy was mine.
No.
All right. I still have a couple unique ones if we want to go through.
Yeah.
Mick Jenkins.
Mick Jenkins is great.
So good.
I was pretty drunk for that show, and I still remember it and very much had a good time and enjoyed it.
Yeah. I was the most sober person in the room.
Yeah, for once.
Shocker.
I'm rarely, whenever I'm around Purvis, I'm rarely the most fucked up person.
True, but you're
also not the most sober.
I'm also never the most sober. That's
the difference.
Yeah.
It's like you hate being sober or something.
I do. I got sea legs.
up-
I
Should have went to the concert.
Next
should have.
up-
I wish I wasn't sick.
Yeah, that's true. That was bad timing.
It was
All right,
very
I got
bad
two
timing.
more. Don Tolliver.
I did not have any.
Oh, who opens for Travis?
Yes. He actually, like, just doing stuff off of Hardstone Psycho, I grew to like that album a lot more than I thought I would. And seeing a lot of that stuff the night it came out was pretty cool. And just, I think he gave a good performance. It just didn't have the same energy as, like, a Travis does, because who can match that, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, it's just, for Don Tolliver, it was just not as good as other. I've seen him so many times.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't as good as other times. Like I feel like when he came out for Travis, that was great, but I felt like I don't know if I agree.
That's fair. And then the last one was like kind of a surprise for me because it wasn't something I was expecting. But shout out Jeff, the Kid Leroy. That was a actually quite a show, and like he really put one on. It was really solid.
Awesome.
Okay. Has everybody gone through all 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have one left, and I'm kind of shocked Brandon didn't say it, but I also understand it wasn't a concert.
Run it.
West Side Gun.
Oh yeah, that was. It was so fucking cool. It was so fucking. West Side. I have a West Side Gun is still to come for me. Like.
Understandable. It was the most.
And I intended to talk about it. It was just very much not a concert. Like
it was not a concert, but damn, was it amazing, and it was hip hop adjacent. So that was my number one out of everything. I appreciated that event more than anything that happened last year.
Yeah, no, that was. Yeah, if we're in terms of just overall events, it was easily my favorite, but it just wasn't a concert.
Right, it just wasn't a concert.
Rome Streets
we
performed.
did get to see like a versus between 2 legendary producers, but still not a concert.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. We are getting to the big stuff. We said we're going to do the rapid fire of albums 10 through 6.
Yes.
And then round robin 1 through 5.
I agree. I think that's a great idea.
Should we just monologue our 10 through 6 each without doing round robin then?
Yes. Yeah. I think we should do exactly that. Just run through, no explanations, and then we'll round robin 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're going to share a lot about them, so.
I would say I'm ready to run through unless somebody wants to go first.
You can go first.
I'll go
Jeff.
first.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Do it, Jeff.
So not in any particular order. It's going to be Dark Times, Vince Staples, We Still Don't Trust You, King of the Mysterious South, You Only Live Once, and Death of Slim Shady.
Okay.
Excellent.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right, I'm good. I've got mine in an order, and I want to give like a single sentence of like why I put it where I put it, because I do have like justification for it. At number 10, I have All Is Yellow, an album that is just wild in the fact that it exists, but somehow ends up being less than the sum of its parts. Number 9, Blue Lips, undeniably talented, super skilled album. I understand people are going to have it higher, but musically, Schoolboy Q has just never resonated with me like he has with others, so I just put it a little lower. 8, 2093, Yeat reinvents himself and does it in a way that is just like such a, like, you can't really look away, you know? It's just really fascinating, and I can't wait to see what else he does with it. 7, Dark Times, Vince Staples. I think it's a little formulaic, and I think he kind of goes back into older Vince Staples in a way, in terms of a lot of his, you know, content, his writing style. I would have liked to see it be a little more like Ramona Park, but at the same time, it's super well crafted and really tight. And then number 6, Alligator Bites Never Heal. So
very good. Very good.
Undeniable, list. Really just like sharp, quick-witted, great bars, you know, conversational stuff is, I miss some of that conversational stuff. Don't you doing the whole, you know, Denial is a River reminds me of like Guilty Conscience and other classics like that. So big fan.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. Mine's in order. I don't really have a sentence, but it is just going to be like 10, 9, 8, 7, counting down. Okay. Number 10, 96 Miles from Bethlehem. Right. I think this was a standout for me. I think it an album that unfortunately encapsulates 2024 very, very well. I think it's certainly a compromised vision, but considering the fact that this was made in the Middle East right now with artists from the Gaza Strip, like, what are you going to do? Right. So to me, I think just the quality of the songwriting and the quality of the songs that are there and the fact that it exists at all and persevered, especially from an artist I appreciate so much like Belly, like 96 Miles of Bethlehem is my number 10. Whack World, number 9. Tierra Whack just started off the year with like probably the strongest album in the first quarter of the year. The album is, and this will be a theme that is repeated, it just works so well as an album. Like, I didn't really have any of her songs on my top songs because I always listen to it in the context of listening to it as a complete album, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Tierra Whack is just primed to just keep doing cooler and cooler stuff in this lane that she's carved out. Next one is Bando Stone. It's like a culmination of the Childish Gambino career. I'm sure we're going to talk about it more. But yeah, I love Bando Stone. Alligator Bites Never Heal. It was a mixtape disguised as an album. I think it was one of the most promising projects of the year. It was amazing to see Doechii release anything that long, that intricate, and that good. And like, just so many of the songs were just like highlights of the year. And the only thing it does is makes me want more of her. And the last one, number 6, the one that just barely got edged out of my top 5, is Blue Lips. This is the album I wanted the most. This is exactly the album I wanted from Schoolboy Q. I wanted him to have like the hard-hitting West Coast roots combined with like that weird experimental edge. And that's exactly what we got. You know, obviously there are 5 albums I liked more, but like, it just really hit hard and hit relentlessly this year for me.
Okay.
For mine, pretty much all of my albums 10 through 6 are like that second tier of albums that just like really give the year some depth and like some variety. I feel like we had a lot of big names that will dominate 1 through 5, but these I just appreciate a lot because like I had them on repeat and they're not big names. Action Bronson, Johann Sebastian, Baklava the Doctor.
It was so good. So good. Yeah. Just an album that was just like so low key that like I didn't even think about it.
It's so good. You could play it on repeat. It's an easy listen.
Dimitri was maybe just edged out of my honorable mentions. Like, I just couldn't.
Our group just attached to Accidental Bronson like glue this year or last year.
I saw him this year too.
Yeah.
Nah, not top
5. I mentioned this a couple of episodes ago. I didn't go too deep into it because it was one of my recommendations, and I wasn't going to include it, but I decided to. But Ka the Thief Next to Jesus, absolutely phenomenal album.
I've got to get around to it. I've heard it's incredible.
It is so good. It is one of the most slept on albums I think that dropped last year. But again, some more underground stuff that just kind of give the year some more meat and depth to it. Lupe Fiasco Samurai. Again,
so good.
A classic artist coming out with something that is keep going. I love that he's still in the game. Yeet 2093. This hurt not to put in my top 5. But it's just, I have to accept that it was a perfect workout album, and that's why Heat was in my top 5 this year. But there's just a lot more meaningful albums, I would say. And then my number 6, the same as like I'm pretty sure everybody else mentioned, Blue Lips. Blue Lips is just a victim to competition. I think it deserves to be in my top 5. But damn, is it a good album?
Yeah, it was about to be in my top 5, and then his friend dropped. Like,
exactly, it is a victim to competition. Which, if anything, that's the best way to lose.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to start their 5?
I can start.
Yeah, Jasper, you start.
Number 5, Heartstone Psycho. An album that I think got some mixed reception. I appreciate the direction, and I think it has honestly a really incredible run of songs right at the beginning that I think is kind of blown under the radar this year. Because if you look at the first, 4 tracks on there, Kryptonite, Tore Up, Brother Stone, Attitude, that's disc 1, and then Bandit follows that up.
It's a
And that's a good run. It's
Yeah.
it's respectable. I'll
No,
give it that.
it's an album that I think is underrated. It just barely didn't make my top 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
This was for me it was interchangeable with Alligator Bites, but musically I think I prefer this style to Dochi's, even though Dochi had I think superior, wordcraft. So this
Sure.
this just out a little bit.
I totally get that. Yeah, I think this is a really solid album. I like that it's very intentionally produced, intentionally constructed. Yeah, no, I thought it was a good one for Don Tolliver. I just think he can still do better, but
Yes.
I'm not upset with what we got though. I don't think it was bad by any stretch.
Yeah.
I'm withholding my comments because I will get back to it.
Okay, who wants to do 5?
I'll go.
Okay,
I'll go. Mine's Blue Lips.
Blue Lips.
I mean,
God, I think everyone has
that made it
mentioned
into
it
my
now.
top 5. Yeah, that made it into my top 5.
It's really fucking good, isn't it? What stood out
for the
for you?
the hiatus that Schoolboy took, and for him to come out as strong as he did, loved it.
So much stronger than his last album, which wasn't bad.
Exactly, and it wasn't bad, and he's always improved. But it's just you take as long of a hiatus as he has,
Yeah,
and to come out as strong as he has, you don't see many artists that can do that.
no. Usually, you got to be a Kendrick Lamar level artist, and
Yeah,
maybe Schoolboy Q is. Like maybe we'll see a lot out of him in this next leg of his career.
yeah.
All right, I can go next. My number 5 is going to be Still Praying, West Side Gun. This is the other album like Whack World that I just listened to this album as a complete album. Like this is just a thing if I just want like the Griselda West Side Gun vibe, I just put this on or the playlist. And like right now, this has been my favorite. I think it is honestly like one of the most gorgeously produced albums of the year. Hot take. I think it's maybe besides Chromacopia the best produced album of the year. I think the beats are gorgeous. I think it is an album that is very much in like wrestling, which is very much an influence on the album. It's very improvisational and raw. It was made in a day, and I think it comes across that way. It reminds me, obviously not as analytical or highbrow, but it reminds me a lot of that drill music in Zion, Lupe Fiasco album that he made in a day. Right, this feels like the boom bap, West Side Gun version of that. Right, where it's just kind of catching this spontaneous moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have that level of production on hand when you are the head of Griselda Records. Like,
yes.
So yeah, 5 Still Praying. And yeah, also easily the coolest event of the year. Like it wasn't a traditional concert, but it was honestly the most fun I had at an event all year. It was eye-opening. I should have been listening to Jeff all this time about wrestling.
Andrew
Keel. Shout out Young Keel. But yeah, no. Still Praying. Starting my list, top 5.
Jeff, go ahead.
You mean Jasper?
Jasper. Wait, Jeff already went. Sorry. Jasper, go ahead.
Yeah.
Wait, you done your 5th, Purvis?
I have not. I can go left.
No, you're the next one then.
Yeah, because I already did mine.
Oh, did everybody go?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me is going to be Vince Staples' Dark Times.
Good pick.
Yes.
That album just hit for me. Got it on vinyl. Amazing. It is so good. I think it is.
It just got edged out for me. It would have been in my top 5, but it just got edged out.
You and I basically flipped Blue Lips and Dark Times. But
yeah.
I think, at this point, there was a very long time Brandon and I discussed like who's going to be the next feature, and so we had to discuss between Jid, Denzel Curry, and then finding a fifth or a third person, and it was like, oh, is it going to be Baby King? No, it's Vince Staples. I don't care.
It's Vince Staples.
It is an amazing discography. It is so solid. Every album is compact. Like I love it. It's a great album.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
And he had a show last year. Wasn't that last year?
Yeah, that was last year. I saw him live last year too, and he was real good. I know he wasn't as good at the after show, but he was. Yeah. When I saw him, he was really good.
Yeah, Summer Smash. He was really good there.
Yeah, in 2023, he was good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Jasper, you want to go to number 4?
Indeed. This is going to ruffle some feathers, I think, putting it where I put it. But it still did make my top 5, which, given how I feel, the standard I hold this to, I think, is praise. GNX. An album that I don't know if we necessarily expected. I know some of us wanted this direction. I think it works. I think it's good. But I think it has some shortcomings that are more apparent than many other shortcomings in his discography, just based on the nature of when it came out, the subject matter, the energy behind it. It's just not necessarily what I look for in Kendrick, like we talked about. And so because of that, it doesn't crack higher than that for me.
Okay. I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Brandon?
Jeff next.
Oh, was it me next?
No.
Number 4 for me is Alligator Bites Never Heal. Doechii.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. She impressed me so much, and I just couldn't help but not put her in my top 5.
Such an easy album to just put on in the car and listen to.
Slide through it.
Yeah, it's such an easy listen. All right. I'm going to go next then. Mine, and like, this is technically a tie, but whatever. It's We Still Don't Trust You. Future and Metro Boomin. Like, I loved both of these albums. I think I liked We Still Don't Trust You a little bit more just because it had like that funkier, kind of synthier, like sad Future direction. But one, like, I think the idea of just like Future and Metro getting the fucking Avengers of rap together to diss Drake is just like hilarious and in its own right. And then, you know, with Metro, obviously things are always such a high bar, but Future, like, I got really, really into this year, and this was really the album that pulled me onto that, like, deep in his discography. I also really liked the mixtape Pluto. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, We Still Don't Trust You. We Don't Trust You. That whole duology, whatever you want to call it, that was number 4. Big moment. But like other songs, like, yes, like That is by far my favorite song, but like the We Still Don't Trust You title track is really good. Type Shit is probably the best song with Playboi Carti on it. Like, well, maybe not the best song, but the best Playboi Carti feature. The one with A$AP Rocky is great. Red Leather with J. Cole. There's a lot of highlights all throughout these albums. So yeah, We Still Don't Trust You has to be way, way up there. So that's my number 4.
They should have just made a double album.
It kind of is just a double album, but yeah, on a technicality, yeah, you're right. But yeah, it should have just been a double album.
We'll let you group them. I think.
Yeah.
I'm last, right? Okay.
Yeah.
West Side Gun, Still Praying. Look, y'all know how I feel about West Side Gun, so I won't get into it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal album.
Now, for both, since it is in your top 5, was the experience going to that event part of why it's in your top 5?
For me, at least.
Yeah.
I think
yes.
It depends on its own, but the event helps.
Yes, it helps for sure. I mean, I think the fact that I'm still listening to Still Praying, you know, post GNX, post Lana, like I'm still going back to it, I think is the reason it's in my top 5 and not my honorable mentions. But the event felt inextricable to the album. And like, this is art, right? It's all individualized and it's about how it makes you feel. And it just made me, it just made it feel like such a special moment, right? And then like I've never,
I
going
just want to clarify.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. The event was an the best possible event for this project, I would say.
I really wish all of us could have went. It was an amazing event. It's one of the most unique experiences I've ever been to. And at least for the album itself, like there's one other album that I will be mentioning in my top 5 besides this one that has probably one of the most like solid themes to an album that came out this year. Like there's nothing that screams more wrestling that I can think of than Still Praying.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect album.
Yeah. All right.
Respect.
Jasper, you want to do your 3?
Yeah. Number 3 for me is Chromacopia. An album that is good, very good. Not my favorite Tyler. This
I gotta think.
This snugly
Here's on
sits.
what 1 and 2 are. Well, I know what one of them is going to be.
Sorry, Jasper. It's a curveball to us.
Yeah, it is. Again, yeah.
I know one of them.
I think Chromacopia is good. It definitely is a step in a direction that I appreciate from Tyler in terms of being more personal, more introspective. The production on it, I think, is good, but not nearly to my taste in the same way that Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost are. It lacks a little bit of that polish. I think both of those projects set out to very clearly define a singular concept that the album then rolls around. Obviously, they are, basically concept albums. I think Chromacopia tries to do something similar, but it does it with lots of smaller ideas in a way that is good, but doesn't necessarily feel as cohesive to me. And on top of that, and this is something I don't think I've experienced on the podcast before, some of them are so relatable in a way that it's almost like a little bit uncomfortable, where there are certain songs in the project that I don't love listening to, not because they're not good songs, because the subject matter is just like,
yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like it's so personal, like because of who I am and who Tyler is, like I just can't completely relate.
And he said that it's a project about lessons that he learned from his mom that he's finally understanding as an older person. And yeah, a lot of those resonate with me just as like someone who's approaching that age and kind of feels that way about plenty of things.
I'm about to say a lot of stuff.
One of the things that is a knock against this album is the song Balloon. It's the only song from Tyler's current era, I would say current era from 2017 till now, that I actively dislike. I fucking hate that song.
Really?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, like I cannot think of another Tyler song I actively dislike. Everything else is like, wow, this is a bop. This is pretty good. This is okay. I don't like that fucking song. Doechii has a decent feature. It doesn't save it for me. The annoying sound, the don't stop feature, like the sample, make it stop. There you go.
Yeah, the don't stop stab is really unapologetic.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and I do not blame you for not thinking the Doechii verse saves the song.
Yeah, and that follows Like Him, right? Which is like such a beautiful,
so good,
intense thing.
One of his most personal songs he's ever made.
And then you basically go and piss on it with this.
All right.
It's just
that's a bit much. Like
I don't know. I have a bone to pick with this song. Just I think it really ruins the mood in a lot of ways. But yeah, That's why this is number 3 for me and not 2 or 1.
I know what your number 1 is. Now I just don't know what your number 2 is. But anyway.
Okay. So my number 3 is going to be Chromacopia also.
Hey.
I think we're gonna get to the point where like a lot of lists are gonna start merging together. But yeah, my 3 is not Chromacopia. So here we go. Like,
I just don't think I have to chime in. It's just like it's one of his best albums. It was a surprise drop, and I just like how he's now finally going into the era where he's actually able to open up in his music and not just try and be a character. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to seeing in the future with him, and happy to see it finally in this album.
Yeah, no, totally. For my number 3, sure it's an album that's going to come up again. King of the Mischievous South. I think the rollout to this was incredible. Denzel Curry has been my favorite current era rapper since the 2016 freestyle. Like the only person who walked away for that freestyle, like Denzel Curry. But this was just a perfect exploration of him like getting down to his Southern roots. I think he brings in a lot of amazing Southern artists. I think the sonic diversity is crazy. I think he actually fucked around and like released a bonus like version that was actually worth a damn. So yeah, I understand how this is like. It seems like with Denzel, he has like a rhythm. Like he does like a really like conceptual heavy album, and then he does something lighter. And this feels like the lighter album taken to an extreme, right? Like I don't know if you guys have heard, like I'm sure we all have, Zoo, Denzel, his 2019 project. Like this feels like Zoo on steroids, and and I get that it's not conceptual in the same way that the Melt My Eyes was, which I was a huge fan of that album, but I don't want the same thing from my artist every single time, and this will become a theme. So I like that this was a little bit more expressive and a little bit less conceptual, which will be a thing I say again later. Like,
okay,
but yeah, King of the Mischievous South.
All right. I will close out number 3 with the same as the other two, Cornucopia. I think song by song, this is the best album that came out this last year in terms of like actual track lists and the quality of music.
That's interesting.
And who Tyler is. I think it's probably the most solid album. At least for me, there aren't any skips, and I appreciate that. And knowing what Tyler is and what he can bring to the table, it's going to be some of the highest quality you have in the year.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say to clarify the remaining albums that I have, these are what I like actually listen to the most. So that would probably explain why Cornucopia is at 3.
Interesting. All right. Well, moving on to the final 2. Jasper?
King of the Mischievous South Volume 2, baby.
There it is.
Dude,
so good.
What a force of a project. Like, you take something that is supposed to be like it feels like a fun party album or like a love letter to Southern hip hop, and executes it better than almost anything in the space. It's like when the Japanese figured out making whiskey in blue jeans. And just you think about other projects that have like stepped into this kind of space of like making something that feels fast and loose, but in a super controlled way. The other like great all-time great example of this is like Rodeo. And I think that this may maybe not be on that level, but this is something that very much feels like in the same vein and like has the same thought process behind it. But what a project. And the songs, the like Ultra Shit,
Ultra Shit's so good.
Hot One, Sked, like the number of songs on this that have just such staying power with me that I go throughout my day being like, smack, might break my rollie, like all that shit is just almost nothing else comes close. And this is just like this was the year I got into Denzel, like really honestly, and it was this project that did it. And like I loved a lot of the other stuff. Taboo's great. Melt My Eyes is good. Earlier stuff is good, but like this is it for me. This was like
really wild.
The jump.
Okay, I like that.
My number 2 is gonna be Bando Stone and the New World. This album was phenomenal. Gambino showed his rap skills again in this album. The concept for this album with the music videos that he's dropped and the movie that's supposed to be coming out with this, and from what we've seen of the tour, this whole concept and everything he's planning on doing to finish the Gambino character, I think was one of the biggest highlights of last year. Unfortunately, the tour got canceled, but if he
Yeah.
didn't hurt himself and finish the tour completely, this would have been the biggest highlight outside of Kendrick and Drake.
Yeah. I agree with that. All right, my second album of the year is Chromacopia. Because everyone has already talked about it. I'm gonna give my thing. I like this album a lot, man. I think if someone, because I've heard Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost plenty of times, when someone tells me that they prefer those albums, I completely get it. But at the same time, as someone who has always felt like on the outside of being a Tyler fan, Chromacopia was a really good way to get into him. Right, this was a much easier on ramp to Tyler as an artist. Flower Boy too was probably the other closest one, but yeah, and I think just making the fact that it is such a personal album, it is just because Tyler is such a character, right? Because like he's such a character in like his persona, and he's such a character like in his music, and like often objectively different characters, like that I think like actually letting us see him for a little bit, which he does in real life. Like when you listen to his interviews, like he says real shit. Like he's not always goofing around, But this was just a excellent like just on ramp to it. And I thought it was like, to me it was also just like a very interesting experience because it happened so quickly. Like we went like in a week from like getting it announced to the first song, first video, and then the album itself. And Noid, and I knew this was gonna happen. It was easily like I was like, this is fine. I was like, this is cool. Like I probably felt about it like I felt about a million other Tyler songs. And then like within the context of the album, it really took off for me. So yeah, this whole thing, and I would say like as an album as a whole, like as a piece of work that has multiple sub pieces of work that build to a cohesive whole, I think Chromacopia is number one. I just think musically and lyrically, there's another album that I think like subsumes it a little bit that we will get to. But yeah, Chromacopia, number two.
Cool. Okay, my number two. I've done this every year with the Golden Nugget, but I always get in an R&B album that just sticks to me like glue. I don't think it was a huge year for me for R&B, but I gotta say, the No Worries, Why Lord with Anderson.
This was a great album.
Oh my goodness, this album is phenomenal. There's no flaws in this album. It is a great listen. I cannot praise it enough. And how I already feel about Anderson .Paak, man, it's phenomenal. And like I said, with a year that I feel like, at least for me personally, I just couldn't attach to anything. Sir's album came out, did nothing for me. Leon Thomas came out, did nothing for me. Even Lana, SZA was cool, it was good, but like it just didn't stick. This was exactly what I needed for a nice R&B break between all the hip hop that I consume. So that's my number two.
All right.
Jasper?
You already know. Band of Stone and the New World. Album of the year. What a project. If you think about, and I know this is a false comparison, but like outside of the beef and everything that happened with that really kind of propelled all this amazing work from Kendrick. You think about albums that came out this year, it's kind of been a Gambino year. You've got Atavista, which really kind of, rebirthed an album that was woefully unfinished when it came out, and really like supplemented and improved that experience. And then you've got this album that kind of came out of nowhere in the sense that I don't think anybody knew what to expect for a Final Gambino album. I was thinking like, oh, is it Awaken My Love Part 2? Because I could see him kind of staying with that route or that style.
Yeah.
I don't think we expected this. And the rollout, super strong, really interesting. The potential for a tour, super exciting. But seeing the way this project came out and the variety of just sonics and styles and lyricism and vocals that are on this project and the features it has, it is all over the place. and manages to be, in my eyes, just such a cohesive encapsulation. It's like a time capsule of everything that is great about Gambino across every part of his career. And we talked about that earlier. This, I think, really does what All Is Yellow kind of set out to do. And that maybe that's like a label as a sound or like a music video company as a sound and like their people. This is an artist's career distilled down to its sharpest, finest points and delivered in exactly an hour. I don't think anybody else could necessarily make a project like this, honestly. Like, I think this is something that you have to have multiple sounds to do. You have to be able to weave them together in ways that make sense and feel natural. And you have to be able to do it while delivering something that's still entertaining and doesn't, off put your audience. And who else could possibly do this? It's like, I hope he keeps making music as Donald Glover. But if this is the last thing we get from him, this is like a high note to go out on.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
You sold it. Hey, you got it.
Alrighty.
All right.
My number one album is. Okay.
Pause. I'm not going to stop the recording. Do we all have the same one?
No.
Okay.
Me and Brandon Gen X.
Yeah, it's Gen X. Yeah. So, so
yeah.
Go ahead. You two say the spiel.
Jeff, you go first.
Yeah, so my number one is Gen X. Just the surprise drop, and just from the get-go, hearing whacked out murals, you just know you are in for a roller coaster ride. That's like, it's one of the best opening tracks I think Kendrick has made. The samples he uses, phenomenal. Lyrically, he's still there. I mean, he's never dropped off, but coming from Mr. Morrow and the Big Steppers to this was just a massive improvement.
Yeah.
And for it being his first album off PG Lang. Like, great album to start your new label with. And just, yeah.
Yeah, no, this was easily my album of the year. It's like a pitch perfect tuned machine, like a GNX. Like, it's just hard hitting. I think it's easily his best work since To Pimp a Butterfly. I think he says in The Heart Part 6, well, not him, but like how you're supposed to approach this album. And it's like, use your heart and not your eyes, right? This is an album you're supposed to feel, right? Rather than Mr. Morale, which was a therapy session that requires deep introspection to frankly even listen to, right? Which, like, I like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers a lot. I like Damn a lot too. Like, when we're talking about Kendrick Lamar, we're talking about like a game of inches. So, but no, I would. This was easily my standout of the year. The quality of the track list is nuts. As I've said, like, there's probably 5 songs on this album that could have been my number one song of the year. Hey Now could have been my number one song of the year. Squabble Up could have been my number one song of the year. The Heart Part 6, Gloria, Luther, all of those songs could have been my song of the year. And not even to mention Euphoria, Not Like Us, like the incredible diss tracks that...
Save it for the Golden Nugget.
Yeah, I know. But like... right, but like the thing is that was the biggest thing that happened this year, and we haven't talked about it like almost at all. Right. So, and I actually think the relationship GNX has to like the beef is kind of perfect. Like, it is like a step into the next era of Kendrick Lamar now that he has become like the shepherd of hip hop. Right. Like, Kendrick Lamar has been, a lot of people have been calling him the GOAT since Let's Keep It Real, Good Kid, Mad City, which maybe was a little early. Who knows? They were right. But like, he was always kind of just operating in his lane. And now with a power vacuum, now that the artist who was shepherding hip hop is now making Vultures too, right? Like, this feels like the first step in a world where Kendrick Lamar is leading the culture. And it's exciting. Like, I think it sets up not just Kendrick Lamar, but an entire genre for success going forward.
Okay. Then I'll just go ahead and close out the overall albums in. Brandon knows this was my original Golden Boy. I've been following Don Toliver literally since the beginning.
I could have put
I'm
this
not
into
going
a
to
context
oversell
clues.
this. I'm not going to oversell this because I will be giving other artists that we've been talking about that I did not list in my top 10 albums. I will be giving them their flowers, trust me. But for number one for me, Don Toliver, I will say the career path that he's had so far, I don't know why, but Heaven or Hell just completely stuck to me. It was one of my favorite albums of all time, just for me. I understand it's not one of the best albums of all time, but it is a personal favorite. And I can recognize that he had a dip in quality since then. There's been good albums that's come out from him since Heaven or Hell, but it just didn't hit as hard. It's always been like a chase, and we've talked about it on the podcast for years now. It's been a chase to have Don Toliver finally drop something that can compete with, or that could actually reach his potential. And for me, look, Hearthstone, man, it just, or Hearthstone Cycle, it just hits. It absolutely hits. This is my favorite album of last year, and it's not even close. I listened to it the most. I think it shows his growth. It's such a him having a better vision for an album or a better theme of this being around a motorcycle gang and all this bandit stuff. It is the perfect vision for him. So for me, it's my number one. And to be honest, it's not even close. It's just a personal favorite. And it does hit harder when you see one of your Golden Boys, especially the original Golden Boy for me. He's made it. He's officially made it. So that's for me.
Interesting. Very good.
Now, I will be giving flowers to the other people. So,
all right. So,
get into,
the Golden Nugget. Do we want to do round robin our 3 honorable mentions?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about our winners.
Okay.
Who wants to start?
I'll go.
Do it.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Honorable mention number 3. Good year. Great year, really. One of the best in hip-hop historically. Didn't necessarily connect with me musically as much as some of the other people this year. Although it's impossible to deny, the influence that it's had, the changing landscape that it has kind of pioneered in a big way, and the way it set up the West Coast to be just such a point of, like, a space to be excited about and to pay attention to.
Yeah.
This is new. This is different.
He turned Tyler into a West Coast rapper.
Yeah. What was it? Second best out the city, except for Kenny. That's a fact now.
Yeah,
something like that.
True. He's right. He's got.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Like, he's got it. Like,
yeah.
He is humble. He knows what's going on.
And showing up in the Hillbillies video, I still have hope. I still have hope for all this.
There is hope. Like, no, come on.
I would die. I would love a Kendrick Tyler collab.
And we didn't talk about it, but the freestyle on Hey Now.
Hey Now is that song that's fantastic. Yeah.
The Tyler freestyle is like, what was it? Christmas Day.
Yeah. Very
so
good.
Yeah.
Jeff.
I'll go next. So my number 3 is going to be Vince Staples. I think with him having his Netflix show drop this year, helped skyrocket him onto another level of his career path, where he can do TV, kind of going that route where Donald Glover did with Atlanta and whatnot. But now he has that platform for his own show, and his music just keeps escalating, and he just keeps improving. And he doesn't get himself in trouble. Like, he stays clean, and he tells it how it is.
Yeah.
So,
and he's fucking hilarious. Like,
exactly.
Yes. Good point.
All right.
Brandon, you go?
Sure. I'm not actually going to say a whole lot about this artist because we've spoke her praises a lot, but like, being critical, like, there was no way if I have 3 runner-ups for the Golden Nugget, like, I wasn't going to give Doechii one, right? Like, and I've been, I think what you said about Hearthstone Psycho applies, and that's why I liked Kings and Mischievous South, and I think that's why I'm like really resonating with Doechii, because I think we need to own the fact that we were very early on this very popular artist.
Yes.
Like, So seeing her come, like, there's just no way. Like, I know we all pretty unanimously agreed about her being the biggest rising star. So I'm not going to say any more than this, but yeah, it's undeniable.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. It's even more than a rising star. You're right. She
Yeah.
took it to another level.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone have this level of just support from so many different fan bases for making just like unilaterally, just like self-expressive art, right? Like just art that they want to make, right?
She's 100% herself all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I'm last. Yeah. So for Golden Nugget, technically the rules from the original one is that you include everything from the year, not just the album. So for my first honorable mention, it's gonna be Megan Thee Stallion. I think she had a phenomenal year.
That's a really good call.
Yeah, I think she had
It's a really fucking good call.
Putting everything together, everything she touched was improved. It was a plus year for her, and everything was great. The album was great. Any marketing that she did was great. Any collaborations that she did, what she means to the culture. We've talked about this for a while. Obviously, Nicki Minaj was one of the most recent dominant female artists, but I think we can very confidently say that Megan has taken.
You completely usurped it.
Yeah, and she's expanded times like 10.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be.
She blew up bigger and faster than Cardi B did, I feel.
And stayed more relevant for longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I think I think Cardi B's cool, but like on a craft level, Megan Thee Stallion is just way.
Yeah, but I'm just
I agree with
Cardi
you.
B was the last one to kind of blow up.
Yeah.
Like Megan.
Yeah.
And now Megan did it better.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think she's really unique in that she's like playing nice with Cardi, which I think is good. I think like having multiple, like, how many female artists have we talked about like on this episode, right? I think having a world where there's so many coming up, I think is better.
And it is thanks to her. She's
Yeah.
the main prime candidate for that. Yeah. All right. I think it's Jasper.
Yep.
Number 3 for me, or I guess number 2 for the honorable mentions, is going to be Tyler. Same exact reasons I gave for just Chromacopia generally. You know, he's doing a lot. He's had a big year that transcends music, fashion.
Flognaw was huge this year.
Flognaw was huge. Louis Vuitton, the whole thing. Just a very exciting time to be paying attention to that space. And that ties into the whole West Coast thing as well. You know, there's just a lot to like coming out, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, it's their moment.
Yeah. My second honorable mention is also Tyler. He's had a phenomenal year. This album and just everything he's doing collab wise. He had a phenomenal year last year. There's nothing you can say that can go against that. Besides him canceling the Lollapalooza show. Outside of that, but he did that to make this album, which I prefer this album. Exactly. I'd rather him cancel that performance to finish making this album to get his tour set up.
Yeah.
All worked out.
All right. For me, mine is number 2, and it was. I'm going to call an audible. I'm going to switch them. SZA. So I think between being the sole big name feature on GNX, which is wild, Lana, which we haven't talked about a whole lot, and like, you know, I question if it even counts as a full album release. You know, I don't think she would say it would, so that's kind of like where I'm sitting. But a lot of the songs on Lana are crazy. Drive, you know, I knew Jeff was going to cover it, so I didn't, you know, Drive being one of the most interesting, out of this world music videos of this year, with one of the biggest stars in a music video maybe ever. Like, and seeing her at Lollapalooza. I saw her at Lollapalooza this year, and let me tell you, she sounds every bit as good live. Right? Like, that is one thing for a rapper, that is another level for a singer. She just the 1-2 punch of Chappell Roan and Travis Scott kept her off my top 5 of the sets of the year, right? But yeah, I think between like I understand this is a very personal experience. Not everyone was at the Lollapalooza set, but between the features, I'm sure there were other ones besides GNX that I'm just like kind of flubbing on right now, and then Lana, which had some of my favorite songs of the year that just were just so new. I just didn't really even listen to them until after the new year. Like, I gotta say it's SZA, right? Like, I think the girl is like, we always say that she's a great companion to Kendrick Lamar, and I agree with that. And I think that's because she is kind of an artist at his level, right? Not everyone could write The Weeknd, right? Like, so yeah, my second runner up, I gotta give it to SZA.
Okay. She's gonna stop dropping in December. We need more time.
Yeah, we need more time.
For my second honorable mention, I did not include any of the 3 albums that came out last year, but the jump from having absolutely no future in 2023 to having 3 at least solid projects or better to come out this year, to be an important part of one of the biggest rap beefs to ever happen in the genre. Future, he carried a lot. Atlanta was suffering in trying to get a sound out last year, and it wasn't doing well with Young Thug locked up and everything else. And it's Future. I don't really need to too much.
No, Future had a great year. Honestly, he was on my golden nugget until the Lollapalooza set. Like, the Lollapalooza set took him out of the running. But, I get Mixtape Pluto isn't high art, but, like, I thought it was a fun time. And, yeah, Future was just by the skin of his teeth, not on my golden nugget.
Yeah. I think it's too hard for me to pick one of the projects, so I thought this was a better placement for him.
Interesting.
Understandable.
All right, Jasper, your last runner-up.
Like an astronaut, this plastic block will knock your head to space. Denzel Curry. Runner-up of the year. Oh my goodness. I have listened to King Mischievous South more times than I could count. When I do the Bill Clinton swag website generator, that album sits right in front. He's always in the 4 on the Bill Clinton album generator.
I know exactly what meme you're talking about.
Yeah.
So good.
When everyone was doing that meme, I remember it was like early 2020, and I just made all 5 of them after hours. Like,
I bring it back once every like 6 months. I'm gonna do it again in a minute. I was gonna do it the other day, and then I realized it would give away what we're talking about on the show, and I didn't.
Amazing.
True.
All right. My runner-up is based off of one thing, and that was his return home, and that's Chief Keef.
Okay.
Because he returned home for the first time in over 10 years and performed at Summer Smash. Like, no one thought he'd ever return. He did the unthinkable, paid off all his fines, and made his return home.
I will say the vibe that day at the festival.
It was so insane.
I don't think I've ever felt something like that in my life. It was like almost like dark and like ominous. Like, what's going on? Like, it was. Yeah. Everyone was just sitting with anticipation. Like, is it gonna happen? It was insane.
And it doesn't help that the massive rainstorm beforehand came rumbling through to get the crowd all wild up.
It was, the build up to it was insane. Absolutely insane. What a moment. Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn? Okay, so for my last runner-up, when we think about artists across an entire body of work for a year, and also artists, I think, flexing into new positions, I was extremely impressed with The Alchemist this year. Right? Wow. Like, he's been He was my golden nugget. Like when I told you, like, oh, I already know who's probably gonna be my golden nugget. The entire time I was thinking of The Alchemist, and then Kendrick happens, right? Like, but listen, he put out. Granted, some of these are short, but he put out Theodore and Andre, a killer 3-song EP with Hit Boy. He put out just a random Lucy with Schoolboy Q, Ferraris in the Rain. He put out what were all the albums? He put out the Genuine Article. He put out Black and Whites, which was with Hit Boy and his dad. He put out the Skeleton Key with Rock Marciano, and an album I listened to a ton, even though it was nowhere near my top 10 favorite albums of the year. But Heads I Win, Tails You Lose. Gangrene, his rap group with Oh No, I don't really know who the other guy is, but I like it a lot. It's a very fun album. And to watch someone go from like being one of the most iconic producers of all time to actually stepping in front of the mic and not embarrassing himself, wild. Right? Like I remember starting this year with like, oh, like I hope The Alchemist raps a little bit because I saw like one quick freestyle he did. And then he released several albums where he's rapping, none of which were a disappointment. It's a matter of time until we get a album that is as good and as culturally impactful as Alfredo that's just him rapping over it. Right? I think it's a matter of time. Maybe not 2025, but 2026, I think it's possible.
I mean, to be honest, it could be this year because he actually said recently, like, this is going to be his biggest year ever. He has multiple things lined up already.
Yeah. He put out an album. He put out a song on New Year's Day, floppy disk, right? Mm-hmm. And like to have such a high bar of quality and to be putting out music like this, it's nuts. It's an absolutely insane thing.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Who's your runner-up?
My runner-up, I haven't talked about him the entire podcast, but Childish Gambino. Honestly, Childish Gambino, I think, has had a phenomenal year. I think him redoing Alta Vista is very important. It is one of the most unique things I've seen in hip-hop. Someone actually going back and correcting an album and having it change to that degree and having it not just be Kanye changing 2 songs.
Having it be a full facelift.
Right. It is night and day, and you can tell the change. And he re-released the original one again, just for people to like gets experience to go back. And on top of that, Battlestone, man, it's not a hip hop album, and we've talked about it today. It's really not a hip hop album, but damn, can you put those genres?
It has some excellent hip hop songs on it. It has some excellent hip hop songs on it, but it is very much not a hip hop album.
Yes, to be honest, I mean, my number one, it's very clear at this point. But I think Childish Gambino would have been an excellent choice if he just didn't cancel his tour. It would have honestly put
almost certainly it would have put him.
He would have made it back into my top 3 if he didn't cancel the tour. That's why I put Vince over him.
I don't blame him at all. You have to do what you have to do for your health.
Yeah,
like I'm confident if he's able to, he'll do the tour again. I think if he's able to is going to be a huge if. Like,
I say age is only a number, but
I mean more like getting the funding to do the whole thing again. That's what I'm wondering is even the if.
Oh, I would imagine so.
Yeah. Like, like as far as health concerns, I can see him bouncing back for sure. All right. It's the moment. It's time for our big award named after a place where we buy pancakes.
Jasper should go first because he doesn't have the rest of ours.
Yeah.
Breaking news, it's Childish Gambino.
Yes.
It's the year of Gambino. 2 albums, both of them excellent. Totally different places they originate from. What can I say about Bando Stone that we haven't already, run into the ground? But what a like, I think, career defining album. Simple as.
Yeah.
Good choice. I'm not
excellent. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. For the other 3.
1, 2, 3. Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, it's Kendrick Lamar.
Like it was like when we said like, oh, we should do 3 runner-ups. This year was the only year I was going to agree to that because it is like it was just such a run, dude. Like, dude, May 3rd will forever live in infamy. I will forever have the image of Purvis crip walking to Not Like Us the second it came out in the rain in Jasper's garage. Right? Like,
yeah.
Like, this was, and like,
Torres hit. It's just like, oh my god,
and it does, like, it is an excellent reminder of why hip hop is a culture, unlike other genres. Not other genres have culture just like it too, but no, it is easily the most dominant run by an artist all year, right? And then the drop G and X, which
the pop out, Jesus,
the pop out,
and getting announced for the Super Bowl,
and getting announced for the Super Bowl. Yeah.
The fact that we was like, oh my god, Family Matters came out. This is actually a really good diss song. 5 minutes later,
just tore him apart. With the help from The Alchemist.
Yes. just the panic that came in.
No, it was
honestly for me selecting him as my golden nugget. Don't get me wrong, GNX is a phenomenal album. It's a Kendrick Lamar album, but
it's the whole
GNX,
thing.
The disses is enough for me.
Yeah, no, like without GNX, it was really like wondering if he was going to be up there for me as well. But
this man did like 5 victory laps. As soon as I thought it was over, it's just more, and I'm like, bro.
He strangled him a goat, right? Like, not right, but like Drake's huge, right? Like, a major money machine for UMG is gone. Like, right? This is the first golden nugget where we don't have a Drake album. Granted, no one has ever brought up a Drake album in the golden nugget.
No surprise there.
Chapel Roan officially has more golden nugget awards than Drake. But
I don't think we brought up Drake in other years either.
Right, but like this is the first year where like the music as merchandise machine hasn't dropped, right? And like that's wild. And like look at his behavior, right? Like, is this guy gonna be dropping again? I don't think so.
It's like Kendrick said, you're moving like a degenerate,
right? I think like he really
he's reacted to this beef with Kendrick just put such a bad taste in so many people's mouths,
right? And like. And honestly, like, it really is just kind of like a flabbergasting how it all happened. And like a point that I think gets missed a lot is that like Drake fumbled this, and this has turned into an anti-Drake golden nugget. But it's impossible not to when it's Kendrick Lamar.
It's a rap beef.
But like the other thing is that like I feel like Drake fumbled it so bad, and he kind of made Kendrick Lamar undissable. Because like the only real valid line of attack that you can do on Kendrick Lamar, Drake did. And it was like the Kendrick just opened his mouth, somebody give him a Grammy right now. Right? Like Kendrick is this like really radical black artist, but like he's gotten nothing but support and love from like these white establishments. Right? And that's the only criticism you can make of Kendrick. And Drake did it and then fucked it up so bad that no one else can. It's scorched earth. You can't revisit it. Like, so yeah. And to just see Kendrick see that and just put a knife in his throat was insane.
Do you think when the Grammys happen, they'll play that when he walks up?
I don't know.
They'll play the beat.
They'll play, yeah.
Somebody give him a Grammy right now.
Yeah.
They'll play the instrumental, if anything.
Yeah, but it's really impossible.
The Not Like Us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Not Like Us was a phenomenon, and honestly, like they were all phenomenons, but like I did like that something just so unapologetically hip hop was the most popular song in the country and maybe the world for a while, right? Like something that felt like it could have been plucked from the 90s. And like, listen, I think the 90s maybe gets a little overrated sometimes, but
we're done with the 90s.
I do love the 90s, but I do love it though.
are the Grammys going to ask Kendrick to perform Not Like Us? I don't know. I mean, they struggle to begin with.
Yeah.
So any way to get views,
Anyway,
I
to
can
get
see
views.
them asking Kendrick, especially if they have like the camera angles like he had at the pop out. They do something like that. I'm just saying, like you got to figure out how are you going to get eyes on this.
Yeah, everybody's captured the moment.
Yeah,
I think this was the earliest they ever announced the Super Bowl. Like I don't even.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
they
it is.
they usually don't announce it till like
December.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
No, like Thanksgiving. Usually, like the Thanksgiving that Thursday game. That's when they usually announce it.
Like who's going to do the Super Bowl? Yeah.
Yeah, because they'd be in the intermission between like one of the halftime shows. We'll be like, oh, so and so is doing this year's halftime show.
And now he's about to go on like the biggest tour ever.
Yeah,
with SZA.
With SZA, right?
And it's a cross promo with PG Lang and TDE.
Yeah.
No, it's a cheat code.
Yeah, no, it was a level of domination. Like, I can totally understand why someone who's as big of a Childish Gambino fan would react the way Jasper did, because it really is a stunning accomplishment.
Especially for it being, quote unquote, his last album.
Especially for it being his last one, his last out. And listen, I am willing to bet that if we all went and saw that Bando Stowe concert, I bet this would be maybe a little bit more mixed.
Yeah.
And if he dropped that movie, if he came out with the movie also.
I don't believe the movie.
Yeah,
I think
It's not coming out.
I don't think the movie exists.
I think it's the same promo stunt that was done for the 21 Savage album.
Yeah, it's like very similar. But yeah,
I think it's actually just a script like it was with.
I think they just shot it to make it part, like to give the album that story. Yeah, like
because the internet came with the script.
Yeah,
like there was a special vinyl, so I think that's what this is kind of like.
I don't doubt that at some point he wanted to do that, like actually wanted to make the movie, but it just didn't happen.
Even if it was just marketing, like Jesus.
Yeah,
it's a movie. Like it's at the scale of a movie.
Yeah,
like, you can actually believe that it's a real movie coming out, and it's just some marketing for an album. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's all of our golden nuggets. Wow.
All right, now we get to reveal.
Oh yeah, do the score and then we'll sign off. No recommendations this week.
No right.
So the list was by the end, because I thought of some on the fly, a total of 20 topics. We hit 9 of them.
That's not bad.
I will go through what we didn't hit first, and then I will go through what we did. Our topics that we didn't hit: Revolution Now. Kanye mentioned.
We did Kanye mention.
We mentioned Kanye.
When?
Brandon mentioned
Ultras.
Yeah, when with Kendrick. Yeah.
Oh, well, we're 10 out of 10 or 10 out of 20. Frank Ocean mentioned. Purvis saying.
Frank Ocean. We mentioned Frank Ocean.
When?
No, we didn't. No, I think he. As far as I know, he's correct.
No, we mentioned Frank Ocean because Jeff was talking about driving on LSD to Blonde, and I was like, "Oh, it's the intro, or it's the intro to listening to Blonde." I mentioned Blonde.
He did. You did say that.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations on being basic.
I mentioned Frank Ocean.
All right, Purvis saying Jesus Christ. We didn't get one of those today.
I said Jesus Christ today.
Are you serious? Am I just blind?
I said Jesus Christ today. I know I did.
Well, I think it was at the very beginning when we weren't.
Yeah, I think it was before we started recording.
It was deliberate.
I don't remember hearing it.
It was doing the show.
All right, fine. I'll put it down.
God, this is not helping our score.
Yeah.
You guys are being asking the teacher about homework as motherfuckers. Like,
all right, next up. Speculation about when the next Tyler album is going to come out. We didn't do it this time.
No, we didn't.
Nobody said Jid better.
No one said Jid better.
He didn't talk about Jid at all.
He dropped 3 projects and he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't drop any projects or even a song. Like,
Brandon, you were so close to doing it, but you didn't. You did not make a religious joke.
No.
Sticky came up and you could have said Inshallah. It's
Inshallah.
Inshallah is sticky. You have been saying that.
Inshallah, it's getting sticky. Like,
nobody said buddies or fellas.
No.
No movie magic.
No, we had no need to edit, which is great. Like,
we've been good. We've been getting good. Yeah.
No general talk of religion aside from the beginning before we were recording, which I do not count.
Yeah, I was gonna say the album was about Jesus, but not for real.
It doesn't count. And then no AO.
No AOs. No.
Yeah.
All right. What did we get checked off the list now?
Yeah, here we go.
Make it stop.
Yeah.
Purvis taken out laughing like immediately too.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing.
Yeah.
Kanye mentioned, Frank Ocean mentioned, Purvis saying Jesus Christ, puns. Hendrick Golden Nugget for 3 or more. I called it a week in advance. Accidental Bronson got mentioned. GNX album of the year for 2 or more. It was 2 exactly.
Yeah.
Someone saying, I forgot that came out this year. Weaving lyrics into conversation. I did it once deliberately, once by accident, and then getting something that came out in the wrong year entirely.
That's so funny that you called that. Oh my God. That was 2 of them. Jeff and Purvis did that because they're kind of the same person. Like,
yeah, well,
mine's only 50%.
yeah, yours is a technicality, and this is your first golden nugget, so we're gonna let you have it.
Yeah.
And Purvis, there's no
Yeah,
He's the creator of it.
he was there's no like exception for you. You were that drunk. You were that drunk at Acid Rap that you thought it was a different year. A year that would not happen for 4 more months.
He made it. He jumped into the next row.
Yeah, he jumped into the next year apparently.
Yeah, I thought of it because I almost did the same thing because I was gonna put the All Is Yellow Stop Giving Me Advice video for one of my videos, but the video came out in December of last year.
I literally was about to, yeah.
So that was like, oh, I caught it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, so I put it in there.
All right. Well, what an episode. This was a classic golden nugget. Oh my, what do we do? Next week we have the
Mac Miller's coming out next week.
Mac Miller's coming out next week, but we also have to do the what are we looking forward to?
We do have to do that next week.
I'm looking forward to getting some pancakes at Golden Nugget.
We have to do that. Everyone put your pancake availability in the Google Doc. Okay, like, subscribe. What was your golden nugget? Do you have that restaurant where you live? I don't know.
What is your Waffle House Nugget restaurant?
What is your restaurant you love so much that you would create a show and create an award around it?
Jesus, what's wrong with that?
Someone was like, "Welcome to the Nando Awards, where we give chicken to people."
Like, Nando's inspired though.
I literally just had some delivered, so I'm gonna go now. But like, subscribe. Happy 2024. Excited for 2025. We'll see you next week.
Be excellent to each other.